What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. Now that my excitement for the launched event from Conan Exiles is out there for you guys to see, I thought it would be good for me to go through the patch notes for update 2.7 and let you know what's in them. Now you can always read the full patch notes in the link that I'll put in the description of this video, but I'm going to give you my highlights from the recent patch. We're going to jump right down to new additions, the new limited in-game event Grave Matters between December 8th until January 10th. That's going on. I've got 3 videos up about that event and different ways that you can approach that event. If you want to get to those, I will link them in the description of this video. They added a point of interest protection system. In this initial implementation, it will protect obelisks in the exiled lands. This new system will periodically check the surroundings of these locations. Buildings found blocking accesses to these resources will be automatically destroyed. This is controlled via server setting and comes disabled by default. If you are a private server owner and you want to disable this, you need to look for POI Protection Enabled and change it from false to true. Building and placeable fixes. It is no longer possible to climb over the Numidian fences. That is a good change for PvP. Ceilings can now be snapped to the Numidian gate frames as intended. The storm glass fence should now have the correct destructible mesh. Numidian fence and crenellated wall destructible meshes did not match their models either. This has now been fixed. They did a couple of updates to the Lesser Wheel of Pain. One, they edited the placement volume for the Lesser Wheel of Pain to prevent placing it on top of one another. They updated the collision box for the Wheel of Pain to be more appropriate with its in-game model. Down to crafting fixes. First of all, fix several Numidian items that could not be dismantled at the dismantling bench. The Black Ice War Axe now correctly requires the Hardened Steel War Axe to craft it. I think it actually asked for a hatchet before, so now it's asking for the War Axe. I know a lot of you will be excited about this. The Cordovan Tack and Saddle should now be craftable again. I know this was missing for quite some time, but that should be back in game. Jumping down to AI and Thrall Fixes, we're only going to cover a couple of these here. The first one is we've stripped the NPCs from their interest in geology, essentially saying that they should no longer get stuck on rocks and ores, they should pathfind around them. The Tortured King should now have the correct weapon base. I know if you guys have been following along with my Let's Play, I've killed this guy multiple times where he has just tried to punch me to death, and that usually doesn't work out very well for him. For those of you that are playing on the Exiled Lands and have not been able to learn the Zath religion, that trainer is now back in Scuttler's Shortcut, so you can go down there and meet him and interact with him in order to learn Zath. And then they fixed an issue where the undead dragon in the sinkhole wasn't spawning if someone built close to the sinkhole. That should now be fixed. Under balance updates, they did a couple here. Increased durability for Shield of the Grey Ones from 500 to 2000. And then the amount of zeal gotten for burning the flesh of Jebelsag has been reduced from 20 per flesh to 1 per flesh. These both make a lot of sense to me. I do want to highlight the fact that there's only 2 balance updates and none of them have to do with any weapon damage or amount of poison that's being applied by daggers or anything like that. So for those of you that were on that path of saying the Feroxic daggers were way OP, this is a clear sign that Funcom does not agree with you, and neither do I. I actually have a video disproving how OP those daggers are coming up in the following week. So if you haven't subscribed, I suggest you subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss that video when it launches. Quality of life improvements. The first thing here is the Lesser Wheel of Pain. Again, accessing its inventory should be easier to accomplish now. The building pickup system has been improved to now also send to your inventory any pieces that would collapse when picking up a building piece. This is very cool. Now you do need to make sure that those pieces have 100% health. They are repaired to 100% when picking them up. Otherwise, you will not be able to pick them up. It says interactable objects are now subtly highlighted to ease spotting and interacting with them. I haven't gone around to look at interactable objects to see if they're easier to spot or what this highlight looks like, but it's a nice addition in case someone could have easily missed it. General bug fixes, the first one that I'm going to cover here is elevators now replicate its movement correctly to all players on the server. So if you don't know what this means, essentially it could show one person that the elevator was coming down while it would show the other person that the elevator was going up. I know I experienced this early on in game where I was actually riding the elevator down and someone else saw the elevator rising. A big one here, and something that's been requested for quite some time by the community, is that you should no longer see wetness or raindrops on the character, thralls, or NPCs when indoors. In addition, you should no longer see wetness on floors or placeables if there is something above it blocking the rain. The wetness on your character will fade in out for 3 seconds after going in or out of cover. The Thrall perk system is now accessible to modders. This is very cool for the modding community. They'll now be able to get in there and adjust Thrall perks and see what different variations, maybe what different perks they can add to the Thrall perk system. So I'll be excited to watch and see what mods actually come out of this, or if mods that already changed the basis of the game like EWA and AOC add this into their system. UI and text fixes. There have been some unusable die slots on the Numidian officer's sandals and the Zathite dancer beads. Those should no longer show up in the UI. The East Light and the West Light camp names were swapped. This is now fixed. Probably the biggest one here is going to be the Berserker Rage buff has now been renamed to Berserker's Protection, and the description changed to match what the buff actually does. The actual functionality of the buff was always to add armor, not damage. Additionally, thralls stolen from the Wheel of Pain while being converted will now be listed in the event log. That is a big deal for PvP because it's actually going to show when someone comes to your Wheel of Pain, removes a thrall that's not completely converted, essentially destroying it. It's going to show you who did that on the event log. And that's my highlighted recap of the patch notes for update 2.7. This is on all platforms at this point in time. I want to know in the comment section below which one of these changes from the patch notes are you most excited about. The whack moments in this video were sponsored by my legendary supporters. If you'd like to become a member, you can click the button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. And if you want to continue the fun, there's 2 videos on the screen. You can pick one of those to watch next. Please don't forget to whack the like button. And if you're new to the channel, I'd encourage you to click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload another video.